Good morning, beloveds. Oh, there she goes. I'm trying to get Gabby to come up here. I don't think she's going to come. Come on. She won't even come close enough for me to pick her up. Oh, well. All right. It's Friday. I've had my mammogram. The nice technician was very nice and did the best she could. And yeah. So, all right. And I made a mark so I know where I'm starting today. All right. Because they don't end nicely on, one page. So this is going to be a fun one. Yeah. Because, this is the one that people like to quote at each other. And most of the time they're quoting at each other because they're doing it. Judge not that ye be judged. Matthew 7:1. Judge not that ye be judged, for with what's judgment ye be judged, shall ye be judged, and with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. This statement could come only from one who had deep insight into the universal law of cause and effect, which balances everything and sees that in the long run, everyone receives their just due. This law, Emerson called the High Chancellor of God. The law of cause and effect is the law of great balance, of logical sequence, and of inevitable consequences. Whatever a person sows, they must reap. The law of cause and effect is immutable, and every person's actions produce an effect in their life, which they must ultimately experience unless they transcend the law already set in motion. Such a concept supposes that we are surrounded by a universal law which is entirely impartial, and which returns to the thinker the logical effect of their actions. People, being free agents in this law, whether consciously or in ignorance, are continually setting it in motion to some definite end. Therefore, it is true, unalterably true, that they must reap what they have sown. This means that life returns to us the manifestation of our motives, thoughts, and desires, whether these motives, thoughts, and desires were intended for ourselves or others. It means that the thought of judgment, criticism, condemnation must, in time, operate against the one who sets it in motion. It is doubtless necessary to the well-being of society that our civil laws be enforced. Else, in our present state of evolution, there would be no protection from those who seek to destroy society, but personal condemnation can be entirely eliminated. So he's not anti-law. Ernest is like, no. There's a good reason why we have those civil laws, but we can get off each other's case. Ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love, that God is love, and that all the errors of people are the result of ignorance of their own true nature. Which kind of goes back to the phrase that Jesse likes to use. I forget who it's from, though. Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. The happy outlook on life is always constructive. The understanding heart is filled with sympathy and helpfulness towards all. An evolved soul judges no one, condemns no one, but realizes that all are on the road of experience, seeking the same goal, and that each must ultimately find their home in heaven. In the long run, nothing judges us but the immutable law of cause and effect. Whoever deserves punishment will receive it, and whoever merits reward will find that it is brought by the hand of the Almighty and delivered to them. There is a direct law responding to condemnation and a direct law responding to praise and appreciation. It is, of course, the same law used in different ways. There is a law common to all people which responds to every person's belief in life at the level of that belief. No person can be happy who lives in a continuous state of condemnation of people, conditions, and things. We must learn to praise and not condemn. And I have a thought. I do have a thought, because one of the things that I said something about the Olympics, and immediately everybody around me just like spit venom at me about how this, that, and the other thing. And I was just like, and I'm looking at them and I'm going, okay, so it's like when you listen to people who are just looking for reasons to be offended, and they wonder why they're so miserable, because they're missing all of the amazing things that happen because they're looking for something to be offended about or upset about. It's like, and you wonder why you're so unhappy. It's like, that's why. Because you're constantly criticizing and judging and looking for things to criticize and judge. So all you're seeing are the and generally not even problems that are worth fixing, because they're not really problems. It's just like, okay, well, they're living their best life and they're happy and you're mad about it. Who is that hurting? The person who's mad about it. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Because your judgment is not hurting the person that you are judging. Now, when we start passing laws that hurt the person that you're judging, that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. But like just the outright judgment, that judgment that you are doing is not hurting the person you are judging. It's only hurting you, unless you're screaming in their face, which is what happened to me when I mentioned something and everybody suddenly turned and screamed at me. And I'm like, what? But it didn't hurt me. All it did was make me go, oh, well, I see why you guys are all so unhappy. I'm having a grand time because I'm enjoying what's going on. Judge not, lest you be judged. It's actually less complicated than you'd think. But again, like I said, if we start screaming at people, our judgments, well, that can definitely hurt them. And if we pass laws to hurt them, that's not okay. That is not a constructive use, as Ernest would say. It is not a constructive use of the power. So, yeah. Okay. There's a bunch of short ones, so we'll just cover. We'll go through these. This one doesn't even have. This next two don't even have. Next three don't even have quotes attached to them, but it says religious morbidities. Those who have made a study of soul analysis are aware that poisonous secretions in the body are often the result of religious morbidities. The time has come to break the bondage of those false impressions. We are free souls, free spirits, and because this is true, our thought has creative power. And since it has this power, we must carefully choose what we think, for everything moves in circles. We do not say there is no evil experience. We say evil is not an entity, but a misuse of power, which of itself is good. We shall never know the nature of good by dissecting the nature of evil. Yeah, which kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. For the people who are looking for reasons to be offended, that would be a religious morbidity. They are looking for reasons to be mad and not a useful mad, because there's nothing that they can do about what they're mad about. A lot of times because what they're mad about has already happened. So they're mad about it and they wonder why they're sick and miserable. Religious morbidities. Okay. Religion just has this way of saying there's one way, there's only one way, there's no other way that's acceptable, and since you're not doing it my way, you need to die. And that is a religious morbidity, And honestly, there is one way. It's called love. But the way you do it, that's up to you. And how many people are there in the world? That's that many ways to love. There's no one right way to love. So the only way is to love. But how you do it, that's up to you. All right. This next one is Ugh. Okay, here, I'm going to remind you, book was written 100 years ago. Okay. Thought retards or quickens. Because I wouldn't choose retards as a word anymore. But I know what he means by it. Everything our thought rests upon is either retarded or quickened. It's either held back by or quickened by the power of thought. Everyone is a law unto themselves under the great law of cause and effect, governing all things. When we constructively praise and creatively bless, life abounds with love, peace, and joy. Let goodness shine forth. Let us learn to see that everyone is an evolving Christ. Let us so live and think that we may retire at night in peace, knowing that no harm can come to the soul, that we may rise in the morning renewed in body and in mind, with a brighter outlook, a happier expectation, and a clearer joy, looking upon all with love, condemning none, and blessing even those who seek to injure us. Let us learn to be perfect, even as that divine being, residing in the heart of all and overshadowing eternity, must also be perfect. And remember, perfect means whole. The messiness is included. Okay? Looking upon all with love, condemning none, and blessing even those who seek to injure us. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm all for blessing those that seek to injure us, but it doesn't mean I'm going to put myself in their hands. Okay? And I'm speaking this as a woman because frequently women are asked to put themselves in situations, being caretakers to people who are abusive. You know? So I'm going to bless those that seek to injure me, but I will not put myself in their hands. And if you are a woman, and don't get me wrong, men are in the same situation too. There are a lot of people in relationships. Don't stay in a relationship that is abusive out of love. Okay? You may love that person, but do it from a distance. If it is an abusive relationship, get out. Okay? There is no virtue in sacrificing yourself to abuse. There is no virtue in sacrificing your, there's just not. There's no virtue in suffering is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Please get out. All right. And then this is the last one that doesn't come with a quote. So it's probably go back to judge not. Self-healing must come first of all. If we think we can guide our sibling aright while our own feet still walk in darkness, we are mistaken. We must first clarify our own vision. Then we shall become as lights, lighting the way for others. But can we teach a lesson we have not learned? Can we give that which we do not possess? To suppose so is hypocrisy, a thing to be shunned. Jesus tears the mantle of unreality from the shoulders of hypocrisy, winnowing from the soul of sham and shallowness its last shred of illusion. We cannot see reality until our eyes are opened, until the light of eternal truth has struck deeply into our own souls. Which goes back to that teaching that says, do what I say, not what I do. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You have to do the work. If you are going to walk the walk. That's one of the reasons why Science of Mind is not a proselytizing religion. We don't go out and try and convert people. We don't go out and say, hey, do this. And then you watch what we do. No. We walk our talk. We walk our talk. And occasionally we make mistakes and we fall down and we don't walk our talk. And then we pick ourselves up. We dust ourselves up. We put our feet back on the path and we do our work. Okay? We're not without flaw. Science of mind is not without flaw. It's just not, because it's made up of people. And we acknowledge that. But we do our work. We do our own work. All right, let me look at this next one, and then we're going to decide if we're going to stop here or go on. Yeah, okay. I think that's what we're going to do this one. There's this one which has a quote, and the next one which doesn't. So I'm going to do those two, and then then I'll stop, and I'll make a little mark so I know where to start tomorrow. It's this section. Yeah. All right. So scientific prayer. This is Matthew. I keep wanting to say Matt because it says Matt. Matthew 7:7. We now come to a definite teaching regarding prayer. We shall receive that for which we ask. It shall be opened to us when we knock, and we shall find that for which we are searching. This teaching implies the definiteness of spiritual and mental work. God is intelligent mind and spirit, and there is a direct response from the universal intelligence to our intelligence. If we ask for bread, we shall not receive a stone. But we are told we must ask believing if we are to receive. Here again, we are meeting the law of cause and effect in the teaching of Jesus. Prayer is mental as well as a spiritual function of intelligence. It has a certain manner of approach to the spirit, a conscious act of the mind, a concrete experience of the knowing faculty. Prayer should be direct and specific and should always be accompanied by a positive receptivity. God cannot answer prayers which have no meaning. The answer to prayer is in the prayer when it is uttered or thought. We do not pray aright when we are in opposition to the fundamental harmony. The whole teaching of Jesus relative to prayer is that God will answer when we pray aright. God points to the fact that if we, being human and consequently limited, know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more will God give good gifts to those who ask? And he explicitly tells us to ask directly for what we want. And it's one of those things, like when we pray aright, okay? When you speak a prayer and you say what you want in present tense, you are claiming it now. It already exists. If in the back of your mind you hear the voice that says, no, it's not, or you don't deserve that, then you are not praying aright because you do not believe your words. And what Ernest says then is then immediately treat the unbelief. Go back and treat that voice that says no. One of the ways that we can do that, and you can do it in the middle of the prayer, is called a denial. You deny that voice and then reaffirm what you want. Okay? That is also the strength of going to a practitioner who can hold the space until you can believe yourself. It's still your job to believe. All right. The last one, and then we're going to end for the day, is God and creation. We are to know the truth by its fruits. The certain estimates of reality is ever evidenced by its worth in actual living. We are not to separate life from living, nor God from its creation. One is the cause, the other is the effect. The invisible things of God are manifest through the visible, and unless the invisible thought and desire of people is in line with truth, their acts will fall into error. While we are told not to judge, we are clearly warned not to fall under the illusion of accepting the false for truth. That's the argument for discernment. Judging has a lot of baggage to it. It's generally negative. It's when we seek to criticize, critique, do all that stuff. Discernment is when we look at the situation and go, what is really true here? It's a little different. But it's mostly the baggage that we put on the word. So, if you judge in a mean-spirited way, then yeah, And if you are simply trying to figure out, okay, what's the truth here? That's called discernment. All right. So we are going to start tomorrow on 436 with entering the kingdom of reality. So, the Bible teaching, this one, I definitely have to work a little harder on this because, but I'm not a biblical scholar. I've taken the classes, I've read a whole lot of it, I've studied it, but I am nowhere on the level of some of the people that I know. I'm nowhere on the level. So, this is a good exercise for me as well. And that's the whole point of doing this. This is my spiritual practice. I'm learning more. I'm deepening my understanding, and I'm doing it through Ernest's ideas, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope you are too. All right. Quick housekeeping. And then I got to finish getting ready for work. One of the easiest ways that you can support the center is to engage with our social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And what we encourage you to do is go to our social media and like it and subscribe to it and follow it and comment on it and share it. We try and post light, bright, uplifting, engaging, positive stuff because we believe that in the end the world's a good place, and we want to see more of that. So that's our goal. If you would like more information about the center, you can go to the website, which is creativelife.org, or you can get on our constant contact email. Okay. And the email is info@creativelife.org. All right. I need a drink of water before I encourage you. So Gabby was not interested in coming in, but Foster did. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. All right. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of a task day, a wrap your week up day, a get the stuff done day, a do something fun day, a read a good book day, a pet your fur babies day, a call a good friend day, a check on somebody day, a get ready for the weekend day, a do something you gotta do day, a whatever kind of day you need to have, a rest day, a nap day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, beloveds, explore the truth of your being. Forget everything else that everybody has told you about yourself and get to know who the divine knows you to be. Okay? Because I can promise you one thing. Only promise I can make. The person the divine knows you to be is good. Okay? And from there, all things are possible. All right, beloveds. Whew. I'm really having to work on this Bible stuff. It's good though. All right. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time. Oh, did I remind you that Reverend David would be on around 5 p.m. and I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. But I do get to go to the park tomorrow. Yay. All right. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.